Okay, let's talk about arrive at versus arrive in. It's one of those little grammar things that can trip anyone up, but honestly, getting it right makes you sound so much more fluent. And we're about to make it super simple with just one easy rule. So, let me ask you this. Did you arrive at the party or in the party? Which one feels right to you? You probably have a gut feeling, right? But explaining why one is correct, well, that's where it gets tricky. But don't worry, we're going to solve that right now. All right, no more guesswork. We are about to arrive at the answer. And the best part is, you don't have to memorize a bunch of complicated rules. It all comes down to one single, really powerful idea. And here it is. The whole secret is just points versus areas. Once you get this simple difference, you'll nail whether to use at or in pretty much every single time. This is really the only thing you need to remember. So the core rule is actually super logical. It's all about the size and nature of where you're going. The question you have to ask yourself is this. Are you thinking of your destination as a specific spot, a little dot on the map, or as a big, wide open space? Let's break it down visually. On the left, you've got points. Think specific, like a particular building or an event. For those, we always use at. Then on the right, you have areas. Think big, geographic spaces you can literally be inside of, like a city or a country. For those, we use in. Point versus area. That's the game. Okay, so let's zoom in on points first. We're going to look at all the times when arrive at is exactly what you need for a specific spot. So a great rule of thumb is this. If your destination is a functional building, a place you could pinpoint on a map, you're going to use at. You're thinking of it as one single location. For instance, you arrive at the airport, you arrive at the hotel, at the office, or at the cinema. See, you're arriving at the building itself, that specific point. And this whole points logic, it goes way beyond just buildings. It works for any precise location or even a social gathering happening at a specific spot. You arrive at the bus stop, that's a super specific marker. You arrive at the front door, and hey, to answer our first question, you absolutely 100% arrive at the party, or at the meeting, or at the wedding. They're all treated as specific points in time and space. And here's something really cool. This rule even works for abstract ideas. If you think about it, a decision or a solution is kind of like a mental destination, right? It's a point you've finally reached. So it makes total sense that you arrive at a conclusion. Okay, so we've totally mastered at for points. Now, let's flip the coin and check out the other side, using in for these big, large areas. This is where you want to think of your destination as a kind of container. If it's a large geographical space with boundaries, a place you can physically be inside of, then the right word is always in. So, you arrive in London, in Brazil, or in Japan. You are literally inside the borders of that city or country. And this same idea works for big regions too, even if they don't have hard lines on a map. You can arrive in the suburbs or in the desert. This example just brings it all together perfectly. The delegates arrived in Switzerland, that's the large area, but then where did they go? They probably arrived at their hotel or at the conference center. Those are the specific points inside the area. See how the two rules work together? It's awesome. Okay, you have totally got the main points versus areas rule down, for sure. Now it's time for the final polish. Let's just quickly go over one key exception and the most common mistake so you can sound like a pro. This little table sums it all up. Small, specific places, use at. The station, the hospital. Large, geographic areas, use in. France, Chicago, Asia. But take a look at that last row. That's our one special case that we need to talk about. And here it is, the main exception, the word home. We don't use any preposition at all. You don't arrive at home or in home. You simply arrive home. It's just a special case you have to remember. I arrived home late. That sounds perfect. Now for the big one. The mistake that so many people make. You hear it constantly, arrive to. And look, I get it. It feels natural because we say go to, fly to, drive to. All of those are verbs about movement, about the journey. But arrive is different. The verb arrive isn't actually about the journey. It's about the end point. It's about being at the destination. That's why it uses these static, non-movement prepositions like at and in and never to. So it's always, they arrived at the airport. Okay, we've covered the main rule, tons of examples, those cool abstract uses, and the big things to watch out for.
Let's land this thing by putting it all together in one super simple process.
So, from now on, here's your mental checklist. When you're about to use the verb arrive, just ask yourself two things. 1. Is my destination a specific point or building? If yes, use at. 2. Is it a large area, like a city or country? If yes, use in. That's it. That's the whole thing.
And there you have it. You've officially arrived at a total understanding of arrive at versus arrive in. That little bit of grammar confusion, it's gone. So the only real question left is, now that your communication is clearer and more confident, where will you go next?